Hi everybody, this is Celeste. I'm here with a Thursday night Q&A session, and I'm really excited about this because I had somebody submit a question. They wanted me to go through a little bit more of my coaching style and how I coach people. So one of the things that I do is I really take a strength-based approach when I coach people. So what that means is before we even start doing coaching together, we do a personality test that you'll send me before we start in week 1, and that will give me a really good indication of where your strengths are, what you're good at, but we also talk a lot in our first session about what you're good at, what your strengths are, what you bring to the table. And I really work from that because I don't want to work just from a piece of paper of a test that you submitted. So I want to get your feedback on that too. So what I look at is really taking your strengths and utilizing them to help you be most successful in approaching your life, setting boundaries, communication, and building relationships with other people. So that's super, super important. Another thing that I really like to do with people is a solution-based approach. So sometimes people confuse coaching and counseling, and even in counseling, clients will bring their problems into a coaching session or a counseling session, and they want to spend the full hour talking about the problem, which is fine. We need to get an understanding of where your problems are and where you're struggling so that we can start to build a plan as far as how we're going to help you to correct and resolve that problem. But if we spend the whole hour talking about your problem, we're going to lose focus on how to solve the problem. So when we're looking at the problem, I want to get a brief summary of the problem and where you're struggling, and build out the problem solving from there, and come up with a strategic plan for you on how we can what solutions we can implement to really help you overcome that problem or that challenge or that struggle that you're having. So that's really, really important. And another thing that I like to do with clients is that I like to have a firm or a good balance between compassion, encouragement, and also being direct, right? So I'll give you encouragement, I'll give you compassion when it's needed, but there's also times where I might feel like you need that proverbial kick in the pants to maybe help you see something that's going on from a different perspective, because sometimes too we get very caught up in our own head and in our thought processes, and sometimes it takes a third person or an outside party to help really see that problem more objectively rather than the subjective experience in our head. So sometimes I might come to you and say, hey, I think we need to do a little bit of a check-in here. And so I do tend to be direct in that route, and I'd like to get clients permission to be direct when it's needed, of course in an encouraging and compassionate way. I'm not going to be harsh or brutal about it, but I do like to be honest with that about that up front, so that if I do have to come to you and say, let's check in, something's not meshing here for me, I need to give you that proverbial kick in the pants. So I thought that was a great question that somebody submitted to me the other day, so I really, really wanted to share that, and I want to thank you for tuning in tonight. If you want to do an application for my family coaching program, I will put a link in the caption that you can go to and do that application, and then we'll talk about getting your program started. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a good night.